Uh, Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And yeah, I said I would be back, so I'm back. And today we're gonna review the shows I watched in the past, and from like 2015 to now. And so like I'm talking about like watching, like the whole series. Yeah. So we're gonna get on that right now. Uh, So, starting with 2015. So, around like 2015 or 2016, me and my brother really liked this show, uh, and we would watch it a lot. It was kicking it, and it was a show on Disney XD, and it was a show about like karate masters, and yeah. Honestly, I'm not really gonna talk a lot about this since it was back when I was a kid and I wasn't really trying on watching series. But the only series at that time I watched fully was that show, so I'm not gonna like rank it or anything. So yeah, and also I was into some relationship, a certain relationship in that series. I think you all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. But after that, you know, every time I try to watch a whole series of the show, I just fail. Like I tried to watch The Backyardigans, but I failed on that one, and I was like around 8 at that time, and so and I also tried watching Phineas and Ferb. I mean, I did watch it at some point, and I'm getting to that, but I at that time no. Uh, I tried to watch The Office, and again, yeah, I watched it at some point, but not at that time. And then I tried watching the whole series of Pokemon, and I actually got through Kanto, but like I couldn't make it through. Yeah, I was failing a lot, so yeah. So anyways, moving on to the show where I actually started watching, like try watching. So I mean, back before we had cable, I used to watch on the TV PBS Kids. I think we all did. And so I mean, yeah. And there were some good shows on there like Sesame Street, Arthur, Odd Squad, Nature Cat, Ready Jet, Ready Jet Go, Splash and Bubbles. But then there was this one show that was on Cartoon Network that changed my life. It was a regular show, and I started watching this show around October 2018. So this show, yeah, this show was really funny. Really, uh, I really liked, uh, I really liked the humor in the show, and Mordecai and Rigby is always doing these crazy things, and and then Benson's hilarious. I like Benson. Like it's like he's like what made the show pretty funny, I guess. We have Mordecai, we have Rigby, we have Muscle Man, we have Benson, we have Skips, we have Pops, High Five Ghost, all of the characters. So, and I finished this show around May 2019, and I'm going to have to give the show, I'm going to have to rank it at 10. It's a really good show. So, around the time I was watching regular show, I watched this other show as well. Like, first, every day first I would watch one episode of regular show, and then I would watch one episode of that. And around January 2019, I started. So this show was called Animals of Farthamwood. It's where these like animals, they're trying to find a home, like because their park gets destroyed. So like around season 1 they try and find a home, and around season 2 like we get like Scarface, like he's like this guy, he's like killing all the animals, this blue fox. And then season 3 we get the rats that, attack the park. Oh yeah, by the way, can I also say that the one of the rats strangled a snake with its bare hands. So yeah, that's how crazy the show was, I guess. So I'm gonna have to rank it at 6. And I finished this show around February 2019. So at the time I finished Animals of Farthing Wood, I kind of missed watching two shows. So I actually decided to watch Gumball after that, and I actually really liked the show. It was a really good show. And I think it's unique. And I started watching this at February 2019, and like the show gets better the more you watch it. Like, I mean, I wasn't really a fan of season 1, but like I feel like I enjoyed it like a lot. And yeah, I was also into a relationship at that time. Uh so yeah, like Gumball and Penny, I was into that. And I actually used to have a shirt with them on it, and so yeah. And I mean, I feel like this show was really good. Like, it was funny. It was it was interesting. And actually, when I finished the show like around August 2019, I was like I was so sad. And also because it ended with a cliffhanger, if you saw, like uh the show ended with a really big cliffhanger, uh which is leading us to wonder like what's going to happen next. Well, I heard that season 7's in the works, so that's pretty good. So I'm going to rank this in 11. So at that time, after I finished Gumball, we started getting cable, and so yeah, I would start watching Cartoon Network now instead of PBS Kids. And there were some cartoons that would air, like Teen Titans Go, Gumball, and Craig of the Creek, and there's a lot more. Like, yeah. And then I also watched two shows at that time, which were, like, I started watching two shows at that time. And this was around August 2019. So I watched Pocoyo and We Bare Bears. So for Pocoyo, it took me from August 2019 to January 2020. Honestly, I really focused on the show because like I would play with my toys when I would just watch an episode. Like, I would play with my toys, and I mean, I think it was really fun when I play with my toys. And then like, yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one an 8. But for We Bare Bears, I didn't really enjoy the show that much. Honestly, I also started watching this around August 2019. And it took me a whole year to finish this. It took me till August 2020. And because like I didn't watch episodes every day. I just honestly I it was because I was watching other shows at that time, and I just didn't have time, and or I didn't want to. So it took me a really long time. So I'm going to have to rank this at 3 because I wasn't trying. So in January 2020, after I finished Pocoyo, I started watching this show called Turbo Fast. And this show, I this show I also wasn't really focusing on it as well, because it took me from January 2020 to the same time I finished We Bare Bears. Like I enjoyed it at first, but then I just slowly lost interest to the show. And honestly, this show, I just wanted I the reason why I wanted to watch this show was because I watched Turbo at that time, and I wanted to see what happened on their daily lives. So there was a show on Netflix talking about it, so decided to watch Turbo Fast. And honestly, there are some funny moments in it. But I'm gonna have to say it's not as good, but it's not as bad as We Bare Bears. So I'll give it a 4. So yeah. And like also around February 2020, me and my mom also watched this show called Healing Powers of Dude, or on Netflix. So in May 2020, during the pandemic, I watched this show called The Office, and it was at that time when I officially started watching it. Like, I tried to watch it in around 2017, but I failed. And, I was like, my brother used to watch it, but then at that time he was watching different shows and I missed it. And he was like, why don't you watch it? So I decided to give it a try. And the episodes were really hilarious. And, like, it was a really great show. And it took me, like, a really short time. It took me around August 2020, because I'll tell you why it took so short. My brother said that it was going to be taken off Netflix soon, so around like season 8 or something. I decided to watch 3 episodes a day, and I mean, it was good. So I'm gonna rank this at 10. Beating regular show. It's beating regular show. So I mean, I finished it on time. And at that time, me and my mom also watched this other show on Netflix called Raising Dion, which has 2 seasons. The next show I watched was the greatest show of all time that I ever watched. And it's a really great show. The next show I watched was Adventure Time. And I started watching this show on September 2020, like right after I finished We Bare Bears, Turbo Fast, and The Office. And I was like, I watched Gumball and Regular Show, so if I liked those, I'm definitely gonna like this, and I did. This show was awesome. Like, it was epic. I liked the graphics. I liked the title cards. Everything about this show was like good, and like the characters were funny. And they bring a lot of lore into the series, and this show was like awesome. And I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, there was only some episodes that I didn't really enjoy, like Fiona and Cake, or I don't know. There were also like, because in Fiona and Cake they didn't have Finn and Jake, so like I really liked them. And there were also some episodes that were like a little weird, like where they're in different forms or something. Like, there was one episode where they were like animals. There was one episode where they were CGI or stop motion. But besides that, the show is really good. And actually, like, I finished this around June 2021. And after I finished this, I was just so upset. Like, I was really sad. Like, I tried to cry, but my body wouldn't let me. And yeah, I really missed it at that time. So I'm going to have to rank this in 11, which is beating Gumball. It's the greatest, alright? You have to watch it. So after I finished Adventure Time, I also decided, like, not to watch 2 shows a day. I decided to, like, take it one, series at a time. So, like, after I finished Adventure Time, I decided to watch Penguins of Madagascar. yeah, they made a show about that. And honestly, I thought it was a really funny show. And like I like the humor. But at that time I was also trying to find a show with like an epic finale, and like I wanted it to be epic. But honestly, Penguins wasn't really as epic. Like the finale just ended with them trying to help a news anchor. Uh but like yeah, the and I also decided to watch this because I was into, Madagascar at that time. So I decided to watch this. And, I would laugh at some scenes. And, yeah. So I'm going to have to, like, rank this at 4. But I did rank it at 5 recently. Because, like, I just, back in the day, I thought it was, like, funnier. So, sometimes I would watch an episode on Amazon just for the memories, but it's definitely not beating Adventure Time. So after I finished Penguins of Madagascar around August 2021, I decided to watch Kirby Right Back at Ya, and it was also because it was nostalgic. But yeah, I watched Kirby Right Back at Ya, and honestly, I didn't really like the show that much. I don't know, just there was something about it that I didn't really like, and also the finale wasn't as epic as uh, Adventure Time, and I finished this show around like January 2022. So honestly, I'm gonna have to give this a 3. Uh, I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. All right. So after I finished Kirby Right Back at Ya in February 2022, I started watching this show called Clarence. Uh, and honestly, I thought it'd make me cool, but Clarence is just boring, man. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of scenes that just make you feel bored and just want to move on, and I just didn't really like it as much. And yeah, it wasn't as good. And uh, I don't know. I feel like the show can sometimes be weird, I guess, as well. So I'm gonna have to give Clarence a 2. Uh, it's just that, yeah, Clarence wasn't really my thing. So, and I finished this around May 2022. After I watched Clarence in June 2022, I started watching Phineas and Ferb, like officially. Yeah, I tried to watch it in 2016, but I failed. But this is where I officially started watching it. Like, uh, I really, I wanted to watch it because of nostalgia, and I'm just really disappointed that I didn't enjoy it that much as I did as a kid. It's just that the reason why I didn't enjoy it that much is because, I don't know, they keep repeating the jokes over and over again, and it gets repetitive a little, and Candace gets repetitive as well, and like they just, keep repeating it and repeating it. I don't know, it just, I mean, I did enjoy the show a little, but like they just kept repeating the jokes, which kind of makes the series a little, yeah. So I'm gonna have to give this a 4, and I did finish this around September 2022. So after I finished Phineas and Ferb in October 2022, I started watching Sonic X. For Sonic X is just. I wasn't really prepared for the cliffhangers, and I also wanted to watch this because of nostalgia. It's just I wasn't ready for the cliffhangers that they were gonna go by, and I was just. And then the finale. There's the finale. The finale is just sad, alright? The finale is where, like, Chris, like, Dr. Eggman sends, like, okay, so season 1 is where Sonic meets Chris, this boy. And then season 2 is, yeah, where they have to, like, yeah, get the Chaos Emeralds to go back home. They also did that in season 1. And then in season 3, a few years later, Chris comes back, and they're fighting aliens and stuff, and actually, Dr. Eggman at the end sends Chris home without him saying goodbye to Sonic and his friends. It just was sad. So because of that finale, it's a 2. But I did finish this last January. The next show I'm going to talk about is the worst one I ever watched. Alright? The next show is Odd Squad. Alright? So, honestly, this also upsets me because I really used to love Odd Squad. I mean, I used to like Odd Squad back in, like, 2017. Like, because, like, back in season 1, like, I would watch the season 1 episodes with Olive and Otto. Season 2 was meh with Olympia and Otis. Like, they replaced their agents. But, like, when I'm watching this, like, I started watching this last January. And, you know, I really enjoyed season 1, but, like, we had to buy every volume. Each season is separated by volumes on Amazon. So me and my dad had to buy, like, each volume. But then, like, sometimes I would have to watch them on PBS Kids app. So, like, season 1 I enjoyed the nostalgia. But then season 2 was meh. It was fine. But then season 3, when I made it to season 3, it ruined my love for Odd Squad. Alright? They got rid of... Okay. So for season 3, Miss O retired headquarters. And she's now in a mobile unit with a new team. Orla, Omar, Oswald, and Opal. And this... Like, the characters were repetitive. Like even Orla. Orla always sometimes can get really annoying. Like, she can sometimes say, like, that she's 300 years when she's just a kid. And, like, how can a kid be 300 years old? And then, even when they're going back to the headquarters, it's not the one we all grew up with. It's a different headquarters in Michigan, Chicago. Make up your mind. All right, so then, like, when I was going to the finale, on PBS Kids app, they didn't have it, and I searched everywhere, and, like, it wasn't like no app was showing it. So I was like, I was so pissed off, and after that. It's a 1. A big, big, big 1. Because this... And I finished this in March. And still. So after I finished Odd Squad, in April I moved on to Talking Tom and Friends. And this show, honestly, I got some laughs at it. It's a really funny show. And I like the characters. They're pretty funny. But there's a problem. Talking Tom and Friends also ended with a cliffhanger. Like, it ended with a big cliffhanger. Where their garage gets destroyed. And, like... I don't know, yeah. I mean, I knew this was coming, at least, but then, like, I was just wondering if they're gonna make a season 6, but they don't know yet, and that just made me really concerned. And not just that, their channel, they're also making a different series on their channel called Molly. And, like, what the heck is that? Like, okay, like, we want Talking Tom and Friends back. And I finished this in August. I finished it in September. So I'm gonna have to give this 4. Alright, the show I'm watching now is Steven Universe. And honestly, it's a really good show. Like, it's like the best show once in a while. Like, the last show that I actually enjoyed, like, that I actually thought was really good, was Adventure Time. But Steven Universe, it's really good. And I was like, if I like Adventure Time, I'm definitely going to like Steven Universe. And Steven Universe, like, sometimes it makes me feel emotional. Like, they actually have some, like, sad moments. They have some, happy moments. They have some, like, interesting moments. Like, I started watching this in September, and I'm actually on season 5 right now. And, like, this show, this show is, like, honestly the best. It's the best one. I mean, not the best one, but it's a really good show. You guys also gotta watch it. So, once I'm done watching this show, I'll make a video about it and tell you what I thought about it. But so far this show's good. Alright, that's gonna wrap up for this video, and I hope you guys like this video. Honestly, it was really interesting for me to review the shows I watched in the past. So anyways, besides that, I would like you to comment and subscribe. Peace.